Good afternoon and welcome to Cardiff for live coverage of the Netball Europe Open Championships. This week's competition sees England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland joined for the first time by Fiji, and our guests have just played against Scotland. Scotland came out victorious in that match. We'll have live coverage of every match across all the Netball Europe channels on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter, as well as live on the channel of our member nations. We're also delighted to be partnering with BBC Sport, Netball Scoop, to take coverage of these championships to a global audience. So wherever you are watching in the world, welcome. We hope you enjoyed the first game. We hope you're going to enjoy the next 4 days. Please join us on the conversation on Twitter using the hashtag NEOpen. Now I'm joined for this game for Wales versus Northern Ireland by Billy Pritchard, who has been captain for Wales in the past and also captain for Team Bar Super League. Billy has the team list for today's game.
Okay, thank you, Natalie. Today's game for Netball Northern Ireland, at goalkeeper we have starting Gemma Laylor. At goal defence we have Nolene Lennon. At wing defence we have Fionnuala Tona. At centre Carolyn O'Hanlon. Wing attack Michelle Drain. Goal attack Kyla Bowman. And goal shoot Lisa Bowman at leading the line-up there for Netball Northern Ireland. On the bench for Netball Northern Ireland we have Niamh Cooper, Sarah Montgomery, Niamh Woods, Honor McLaughlin, and that's our lot for Netball Northern Ireland. Okay, and for the Welsh team list then, starting for goalkeeper for Wales is Kelly Morgan and vice-captain. Goal defence is Nia Jones, a return to her to the international team after some time away. Wing defence and captain is Susie Drain, centre Kyron Jones, wing attack Bethan Dyke, goal attack Chelsea Lewis, goal shooter Georgia Rowe, and on the bench for Wales we have Fern Davis, Sarah Llewellyn, Cara Mosley, Christina Shaw and Amanda Very.
Our umpires today are Anso Kemp and Louise Travis. So both of these teams have moved up in rankings recently. Oh, hold on. Our umpire, is not Louise Travis, it's actually Nadine. Apologies for that, my mistake. So, Billy, both of these teams have moved up in INF rankings recently. Netball Northern Ireland moved to 10th, and Wales have just moved up to 7th. What do you think we're going to see from them today?
It's going to be a really interesting match today, actually, because they obviously haven't played each other in a while, and you know, they had a little bit of movement in both their squads. Interesting for Wales, they've brought back in some experienced players who haven't been in the team. They've been unavailable for the last couple of seasons, so it'll be very interesting to see how well they hold. And they've also got a couple of new players in that team as well. 7 to 10, there really is not much in those world rankings. There's not much between it at all. Wales just moving up from 8th up to 7th, so you know, they'll be pleased with that improvement, a minor improvement, but it's still a very important improvement. So they'll be very much testing the waters, and I'm looking forward to a really exciting and competitive match this evening.
And both of these teams have a lot of experience in their sides, don't they?
They certainly do. I mean, as I alluded to with the Welsh team, they've got some players coming back. Nia Jones coming back into the fold. They're a bit of a hiatus out playing football for a couple of years. Amanda Very as well, working her way back into the Welsh team. Huge amount of experience from her, both in Wales and playing over at Team Bath. Combined with, you know, the youth here with Christina Shaw coming fresh off the under-21 Botswana, and Sarah Llewellyn. Be exciting to see what energy they can bring to this team. Netball Northern Ireland as well, you know, a real stalwart of the game, Nolene Lennon. Seen her, used to play against her a long time ago, and either end of the court, goal shooter or goalkeeper. Seen her out of goal defence today, and she'll bring a huge amount of composure on the court with them. And some seasoned players now in that Netball Northern Ireland team. They've been to a few different tournaments now, and they know what to expect. Bowman taking the court there with her sister this evening, apparently, which will be a joy for their parents, I'm sure.
Certainly looks like a strong lineup from both teams.
Just waiting for the players now to take their positions on the court, just being introduced on by the announcer here.
Okay, just another, correction. 2 umpires for today are Anso Kemp and Nigel Lim. Anso Kemp from South Africa and Nigel Lim from Singapore.
just off the side there for Wales, a little bit careless. Good arms in there from Northern Ireland, setting up a good structure there straight away. Nice feed in, good strong take from Georgia Rowe. That's what Wales will be looking for from her in this game. Little short there. Collected the rebound and no mistake second time.
It's important to get that first goal in.
It certainly is for the entire team, not just for a shooter. You know, netball is a confidence game as well. You know, you need to be confident letting the ball go to each other, confident with your teammates. Unfortunately, they're just overcooked there from Bowman, the Netball Northern Ireland goal shooter, just playing that a little bit too far away from her wing attack.
Interesting, you mentioned about Nia Jones as well. Playing goal defence, is that something that you would expect? Is she a defender?
Well, she always did play goal defence. She was very strong goal defence, wing defence, and you know, there's always this argument about height. Little late challenge there. This argument about height, should players be taller? You know, for me, it's about what they create on the court. If they turn the ball over, if they create interceptions, it really doesn't matter what height they are. It depends on how the unit works. It's in netball now, you can't just be one star player on your own. The team has to function as a defensive unit, and if she functions well in there, then great. I'm sure Trish will be looking to make changes if she needs to, if based on height. But basically, if you're turning the ball over and doing the job, then you keep your place on the court. That's my humble opinion anyway.
No, I completely agree. Netball Northern Ireland now in possession, looking for that first goal.
Sweet shot there from Bowman. Huge amount of pressure. You could see there, it's talking about Nia Jones, it's the communication that she brings as well. You know, she's very vocal in there, which is off-putting for shooters. You can just see her here working her goal attack off the ball, not letting her get that position to be able to be available for the centre pass.
And it's interesting, isn't it, that she's plays football, and then has taken time out of football now to play netball. So a high-quality sportswoman, not just in the netball field.
Yeah, she certainly is. And I mean, I think we specialise. There's a lot of sports that specialise very young these days. And, you know, if you look to some of the sports in Australia and New Zealand, the more sports they play, the better rounded an athlete they tend to be. The stronger they are, you know, the skills that they bring from other sports, from other codes can transfer very easily. When I was in New Zealand, you know, some of the rugby players would come and play netball or indoor netball because that full court awareness is really important to open their vision up, and likewise for netballers, the strength on the take and creating movement, just as Wales have done there. Beautiful drive from Bethan Dyke to the circle edge. Short there, that's Chelsea Lewis's first shot. She'll be frustrated with that. Slick through the core there from Netball Northern Ireland. That was a very quick transition from them, from defence to attack. Nice feed into the attack. Ooh, contact called there by the Northern Ireland goal shooter. Kelly Morgan will be pleased with that. She'll take full advantage. Just struggling a little bit with the transition here. Good patience though. That's it, that patience needs to be shown. Kyra Jones on the edge there, you know, she's another very experienced player for Wales, and you know, she came over as a great talent, but she's grown in her game. She's far more controlled, really good head on her shoulders, makes smart decisions, finds the circle well, and has improved her defence game immensely since being over in Wales. It's a joy to see her game.
Got an even netball game at the moment, 3 goals all. It's set definitely to be a good one.
Oh, nice outside arm. Beautiful outside arm there from the Northern Ireland goal defence. Defenders need to be watching that. The outside arm, for me, isn't coached enough really anymore. We talk about going with the inside arm, running off feet, but nice clean tip there. Unfortunately, her team wasn't able to get possession. But quick transition through for O'Hanlon, wanting to get that ball down to her shooter, but lovely turnover from Morgan. Nice hands. Netball Northern Ireland doing a very good job here of holding Wales up. They're certainly not getting a clear run through the court to their circle edge. Running very tight on them, tight man-on-man marking, restricting Wales's movement. Nice rotation there from Lewis to present an easy pass for Kyra Jones, and a nice shot followed through.
Got some tweets coming in already from our viewers. Donna Brady, come on Wales. #AnyOpen. Cassandra Walker, watching Wales versus Northern Ireland, will be here tomorrow. Come on Wales. Some good Welsh support on Twitter and also in the stands today. We've got a number of schools in here today, courtesy of Sport Wales.
Lovely drive from Netball Northern Ireland. Wing attack there, Michelle Drain. Playing in wing attack here for Netball Northern Ireland. Played most of the season last year in the Super League for Mavericks at preferably her wing defence position, sometimes at centre. She had a stellar season there as well.
She's definitely someone who comes with a lot of experience. Do you think playing at Super League level is important in terms of the international?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the regular competition. It's the intensity of the competition. And, Netball Northern Ireland is unique because it's so many games in such a short space of time. Lovely vision there, from Netball Northern Ireland, from the feeder through to the shooter, free under the post. Wales going to need to tighten up their defence there. The intensity, the speed, the physicality, the more regular you can have that experience and that exposure, the better you are as a player and the better the team is for it. So without a shadow of a doubt, most of these girls will be looking for places in franchises throughout the UK in the Super League, as they should want to play the best that they can.
And here is a time to shine.
Absolutely, this is the pinnacle really. It's good for coaches as well. It gives them options. It gives them the ability to see them in competitive situations and how they cope with them. Good defence there from Wales. Lovely 3-foot guard from Drain. Good work off the ball as well. If you saw Lewis and Jones keeping their players far away from the ball as possible. Nice turnover. Nice bounce pass from Jones there. I'm not sure Dyke was quite expecting it. 1-2, just waiting patiently. Good control out there. Georgia Rowe pops through and finished with, no goal.
Held onto the ball for too long at that point in time. That's good defence by the keeper.
Of course, in netball, for our viewers who perhaps aren't as familiar, it's only 3 seconds on the ball before it has to be passed or shot. Bowman really creating some nice space in that goal circle. She's linking well with her feeders on the outside, holding Morgan away from the ball and quite on her back, and Morgan just needing to work her feet a little bit faster to be able to get round and get in front and disturb that feed through, get between the feeder and the ball, and the player rather.
Bowman, someone who's quite experienced in tactics as well, coached out at the Netball World Youth Cup, assistant coach for Netball Northern Ireland under-21s.
I think when you've been a coach as well as a player, it really does open your eyes and you have a deeper understanding for the game, and also I think as a player you invest more in what you're doing because you recognise the frustrations that coaches have. I'm sure she will have benefited from that experience in Botswana in many more ways than just her coaching. Lovely hold again there from her. See, she's teeing off on Morgan there. And again, just playing the back space beautifully. Contact to judge there from Jones. This ball's coming through fairly easily to her. Something that Wales are going to have to address. Opting not to shoot there though. She was mid-range. She was in good shooting position, but opting to lay it off to her counterpart goal attack, Kyla Bowman, which we believe may or may not be her sister.
So what would you do as the coach then in terms of shutting that down? Because obviously she is good at holding the space and she's got that space. She's got quite good height.
It's about working your feet really as a goalkeeper, and you see there again, as the ball was coming down the court, the shooter had set up in front and Morgan was behind, and it's, she really needs to have front position on that. Oh, that is a beautiful interception there. Nuala Toner at wing defence just read that beautifully. Came from halfway through the court, covered enough space, adjudged how far she needed to take that clean interception and rewarded with her teammates in a goal.
Northern Ireland now stepped up by 2 goals. Wales really need to score this one.
Footwork call there, just Lewis thinking she'd done a split, but adjudged that the feet weren't down at exactly the same time. Nice angles there from Drain again, just propping off Susie Drain, the 2 Drains against each other, the battle of the Drains.
And Northern Ireland seem to have made that transition quite quick through court. Do you think that's something that Wales will need to address?
Yeah, it certainly is. They are coming through far too quick, and I think it actually starts from the Wales attacking end. When there's a turnover, they're not as quick on the defence. Lewis and Rowe giving their goalkeeper and goal defence far too much room and far too much freedom to play up the court. They need to do a lot more work on their opposite part. Just all getting stuck down the left-hand side of the court there. Wales very, very narrow at the moment. Dyke opening it up. Ball's getting the ball to swing, open it up. Nice interplay. Good anticipation from Noreen there, but Lewis Redditch just held off her feed and just overcooked it there. Rowe is going to need to place herself, present herself to the ball better than she is doing at the moment. She's far taller than her goalkeeper there. She shouldn't be finding it difficult to receive ball, but a good shot there.
Umpire's taking control of the game. We've just been notified that there's normally an alert system for the umpires, so they wear a buzzer on their wrists which signifies the end of the game, but it's not working at the moment, so a hooter will let us know when the end of the game has arrived.
Lovely ball out there, clearing ball out to the middle of the court. That fast transition is what Wales will be utilising. Oh, seen there from Jones, but just not quite the right pass, not enough height on it, and underestimating Laylor's ability to go back and up and intercept that ball. And again, shooter just...
Oh, a bit of running into the post.
Yeah, trying to get through a space that wasn't quite there then.
It was good defence.
Quick start there from Jones, and a lovely ball through from Dyke. Drew the keeper off. Dyke read it, pass through to Rowe under the post. Good defence there. That's better from Wales now. But again, the wing attack, their first phase defence is excellent. When the ball plays back, when Ireland just keep possession, they're just laxing off a little bit. They need to have more intensity, more commitment to it for longer, and they will get rewards. And the opportunity for Bowman to just slot another goal in.
It pushes them 4 goals ahead now.
Netball Northern Ireland leading 13-9. Wales are going to have to be careful that this doesn't become a bit of a run-on. The danger being when you're down like this is that you start to hesitate with the ball, hold on to passes that you would perhaps give normally, and as a result give your opposition opportunity to make more interceptions. Good clearing ball from Lewis there, but great defence from Netball Northern Ireland. 2 defenders covering that ball then on the intercept. Rowe just not committing, not coming through strong enough through the middle to take that ball out of the defender's hands, giving them the opportunity. Obstruction there from Jones, just to clear that up. There's nothing worse as a goalkeeper where your goal defence has been caught out and it's 2 against 1 in that circle. As shown, it's an easy pass through for the shooters. Nice shot taken. Out to 5 now, and Netball Northern Ireland centre pass. Again, see that hold from Bowman. Didn't quite pay off that time, but this is something that Morgan's going to have to address. That feed is too easy.
This is a crucial turnover for Wales. They need to take this one to goal.
Lovely clearing ball. Clever play from Dyke there. If you just saw, she recognised that the ball was going to be played over a third, and she just kept a little right toe in the centre third to make sure it wasn't a judge. A nice shot to be finished off. Like you said, a very important goal that was for Wales to stay in contention. Running into the last 45 seconds of the first quarter. Another important goal. It'd be really handy if this one went in for Wales now. Rowe stepping in, but into the defender. Always is risky, but she put the ball away nicely.
30 seconds, that's still time for a goal.
And Netball, that's what they'll be looking to do now, get it through. And finished on a nice shot, putting it back into... This will be a really quick feed now from Wales, wanting to get a goal before the end of the first quarter. Out the back line. Netball Northern Ireland's goalkeeper Laylor again doing a fantastic job on Rowe. There's a huge height difference there, but she's certainly getting the upper hand at the moment.
So end of the first quarter, and Netball Northern Ireland are leading 15 goals to Wales' 11. Billy, if you were the coach now, if you're Trish and you're sat there with your team, what would your words of wisdom be to lead them into the second quarter?
I mean, for me, they've had opportunities there, and they look quite lethargic. The attack looks clogged. They don't seem to be playing with enough urgency for my liking. I'm not sure the combination Lewis and Rowe is working. I don't think there's enough creativity in that attacking end at the moment. That will be something they need a bit more urgency, a bit more dynamism. You've got a really sharp wing attack there and ably supported by Kyra Jones, but the attacking end is certainly not flowing very well at the moment. And the defence really, I've spoken a lot about Morgan just working her feet to nullify that ball through, but also it comes from the outside defenders, making sure that Netball Northern Ireland is not able to feed from the edge of the circle. Really, as a keeper, as soon as a feeder is feeding from the circle, the edge of the circle, there's very little you can do. So some work to do there for Wales, but all credit to Netball Northern Ireland. They have taken far more of their opportunities. They've wasted less possession, and their shooters have been more accurate, and ultimately it's the shots that will win you the game. Their attack line is functioning very nicely, very calmly, and in the defence, I mean, I mentioned the height mismatch between the goalkeeper, Netball Northern Ireland's goalkeeper, and Wales's goal shooter, and the goalkeeper is definitely getting the advantage there. So it'll be very interesting to see now if there doesn't appear to be any changes, but certainly how they start this second quarter is going to be very important for Wales. They're 4 goals down, it's not very much, but if Netball Northern Ireland were to pull a few more ahead now, they'll be feeling far more comfortable. And as a team, when you're chasing a target, it drains far more energy from you than if you are leading, and ultimately that does cost you at some point during the game.
So you can contact us on Twitter, #NEOpen, just to bring you some of the tweets that have come in so far. Cassandra Walker says, loving seeing the old Celtic Dragons team back, #NEOpen. So for those of you who haven't seen much netball before, Celtic Dragons is the Super League side in Wales. Anna May Samuel says, come on Northern Ireland, #netball, #NEOpen. Lucy Julia Kidner, come on Wales, #NEOpen. Beth Crossley gives us her opinion. She's really impressed with the Netball Northern Ireland shooters, holding space and working the D, which is exactly what you said, Billy. She's obviously on the same page.
I'm glad she agrees.
And Donna Bradshaw, sure Wales have a more dynamic shooter than Rowe. So maybe that's what you said in terms of they need to be more moving. So I think it's the case of having 2 goal shooters, because both Chelsea Lewis and Georgia Rowe we often see in that goal shooter position. Maybe it's a case of mixing it up and having a faster working goal attack.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very difficult. Every player has their positives, every player has their strengths, and it really is about working to those strengths. And for me, is Wales not feeding Rowe into the right place? Is she not holding strongly enough? Are we not rotating enough outside? Are we moving too much? There are 2 tall shooters in there. Are we making too much movement and confusing the feeder space rather than making it obvious? So we'll see now how this works out in the second quarter, but certainly if they could take a little bit of a leaf out of Netball Northern Ireland's book, they've got a shooter there who is creating a huge amount of space for herself, and if you watch, the goal attack isn't often in there clogging the space with her. She's doing a power of work outside. Nia Jones is doing a fantastic job keeping her out of the circle, but at the same time it is opening it up for Bowman.
Just on that, Georgia Rowe does have very high shooting stats for Wales. She's sat on 80% at the moment. Overall they're sat on 73%. That's good shooting stats. Northern Ireland, however, as a pairing, are currently sat 88%, so currently getting more of their shots in.
It is, and it's not just about the stats. Sometimes it's about presenting to the ball and how many shots you've actually put up. 3 out of 5 is going to be a relatively good shooting stat. But 5, how many shots have we got stats on how many shots that was per that quarter?
Attempts for Wales were 15, they scored 11, and attempts for Northern Ireland, 17, scored 15.
And it's how many, what proportion of shots, who took what, really is what the coaches will be looking at. But, nice to, if we watch Rowe now, she's teeing off a bit better, she's presenting to the forward. As soon as she pops forward, she doesn't actually want to shoot from there, so that's playing into the defender's hand. But what she did nicely there was working with Dyke on the circle edge, working herself into a better shooting position by just curving around the circle, arcing round. It's a much easier, more obvious feed for a wing attack to give as well. So good work there from Rowe.
No changes to bring you. There's been no substitutions this quarter. Do you think that that's something that you would have expected to see?
I think sometimes you have to wait for your team to settle. I mean, you know, in terms of Netball Northern Ireland, you would never change a winning team. I mean, that's just, you know, why would you unless you were significantly up? They're functioning well. Great take there from Dyke, strong take. For Wales, yeah, I think it's only 4 goals. It's not a significant margin. They need to leave them settle. And see what a beautiful shot there. So exactly what we were talking about, a good confident start there from Wales' shooters. Nice work from Drain there, double manned, and she's still got over that line. And that's good pressure there. And notice where that feed came from O'Hanlon. She wasn't exactly on the circle edge. She was far enough away that Jones was able to apply pressure, a 3-foot guard outside the circle. All of that makes it significantly easy for a keeper to be able to do something with that.
Sometimes that's the unseen work ethic as well, isn't it? The unseen work rate that really makes a difference to a team. Just waiting for the ball to come back into play. Nice front pop there by Chelsea Lewis. And that just shows what you were talking about in terms of them working together, one holding the front space, one in the back space. And by Georgia being that threat at the back, it just allowed Chelsea to pop out the front.
It did. Good defence there again. And just watching Nolene Lennon there, there was a penalty called, a free pass called, but she was immediately on Chelsea Lewis's back, denying her any space to reposition into a better court position and shooting position, and that's the sort of intensity that we're looking for. And when I say it looks a bit lethargic from the Welsh team at the moment, that would be an example how Netball Northern Ireland are not being lethargic, and they are being far more positive in their play. Again, Michelle Drain just getting over that line fairly easily now, presenting to the ball as good wing attack should, taking the load. Nice play out from that lovely rotation there, lovely hands from the centre, O'Hanlon. And again, the layoff to the shooter. And that's the difference there. If you see the goal attack the way she's playing at the moment, she might not be taking many of the shots. When she does, she's accurate, but she's just presenting nicely to open up her goal shooter, so it keeps the defenders guessing. Patient play here from Wales now. Rowe had a good hold on. She's just falling off that hold a little bit too soon. Lots of arms there from Lennon. Attempt at shot, just fell short. And unlucky for Rowe there, playing the ball off the post. Free pass to Netball Northern Ireland. Looking for the long ball, tight defence, good tight defence from Wales. Keeping Netball Northern Ireland players up high, and then just the release of that wing defence rather. And it's a quick transition through, and again the feed. Bowman not quite able to hold on to it that time, but contact adjudged by Morgan. And she makes sure of that shot. Watching the play off the ball here. Susie Drain doing her utmost against Michelle Drain there to prevent her getting over the line, but contact adjudged against Nia Jones. Releases the goal attack. She just plays nicely to the front. A lot of contact calls coming now against the Welsh defenders.
We saw quite a physical game in the last game for Fiji-Scotland. Do you think these players will stack up well against Fiji as well?
I think it'll be very interesting to see. I think there's the difference between contested and physical. I'm all in favour of the physical game myself. But you know, it's about playing within the rules, and certainly the contesting. I mean, the way the Fijians play, that is the style of game that they play. They're very powerful players, so they will get to balls that you wouldn't necessarily think athletes could get to. There's certainly a contrasting style of game. However, it's when it's late. Lovely feed and great take from Rowe there. Nice movement and finished off with a good shot. Yeah, just talking about the contrasting styles, and it's when something's dangerous is obviously where the calls come from, but the contesting for me is what we need more of in the game. Because certainly when we go to world champs and play against some of the stronger nations, that is where they have the advantage, because they're used to playing in more contested environments for longer. So that last 15 minutes of a game, you can keep with them, but then ultimately their physical strength of taking the hits for 60 minutes pays off. It's very akin to the rugby. Oh, frustrating there for Wales, just a loose pass from Jones. She was on the run, not able to, had no other options apart from Dyke, but really she will be frustrated with herself, and I'm sure she'll be working hard to turn that ball over. Lovely drive from Lennon, nice control on the take. She was on extension there under pressure. Good pressure from Drain and Beth and Dyke on the edge. Lovely outside arm again from Morgan. Again, another good example of a clean outside arm resulting with the turnover for Wales. Just a slightly delayed pass there. Calling the contact to judge, just patient play now, that's nice. Both shooters out of the circle, presenting for the ball, not ideal, bit of communication lacking there. Lewis doing her work to rotate and reposition on the baseline, just fell short, but nice rebound from Rowe. A little nudge. And make sure, nicely done. Still only 4 in it then. Wales have done well to stem that flow. They'll be looking for a couple of turnovers, and likewise Netball Northern Ireland will be looking to just control that ball. And nice skills there. Oh, what a take from Bowman. Great strength from her. Certainly something that Trish Wilcox will be looking at, I'm sure. That defensive pairing. Maybe just needing something different. Good control there from Jones. What she brings, what she lacks in height, she brings through the court. Oh, careless pass. There's a frustration on the face, but it's the turnover there from Lewis. You know, that she gave the ball away, but she needs to be hard on defence now. Really needs to be working to get that ball back. Errors creeping into the game now. An error from Netball Northern Ireland. Fairly sloppy pass. Nice drive from Jones. Good support from Drain. Ambitious pass there. Again, ambitious pass over a defender when your shooter's very close to the baseline, but there wasn't much else on there for Jones. Wales shooters really need to be presenting forward to the ball instead of hiding behind here. Makes it very difficult for the outside feeders. Good take from Jones. She'll be pleased with that. And that is part of her game. Unfortunately, contact. No, it can't be contact. It must be foot fault. It's free pass. Again, a fairly simple pass there. That shouldn't have been a turnover. Centre not quite taking her feet to the ball there. To Wales' advantage. Good control again from Drain and Jones, giving the opportunity for the attackers to reset. Little bit of hesitation at times, but overall it's good control.
Do you think it's a positive sending the ball back, or is it more in this instance the fact that they're struggling to move it forwards?
Sweet shot. I think if it's purposeful and if it allows the attack to reset, I think what Wales are getting stuck at the moment is it has to go back, because there's not much on in their forward option. But when it resets, 2 or 3 of the attackers are presenting the ball instead of perhaps 1, and they're not actually losing their players. There's also hesitation from the feeders, so a pass is always between 2 people. It's rarely ever one person's fault, the deliverer and the feeder, and the catcher rather, the receiver. But starting to get a bit more flow now. Jones coming into her own, finding that circle edge and just delivering the gentle pass to Rowe.
Pushing it back closer to a 2-goal netball game.
Oh, great hit from Drain.
She's such a fantastic player, isn't she?
A little bit lucky there that Michelle Drain lost possession of it, couldn't control it, but certainly to Susie Drain's hard work, testament to her that she created that turnover. Good clearing ball from Jones. Saw Dyke free as a bird down the other end of the court. Nice dodge from Dyke. And that hesitation there. Just that hesitation. Rowe was presented, she was free. Dyke wasn't happy. That's fine as long as something else presents, but if there's nothing else, that's when Wales are struggling.
And it's interesting, isn't it, how much these players actually get to play with each other to make those connections. How much training do they get beforehand? I mean, a number of them are at different clubs, so does that make it more difficult?
Yeah, it does. I mean, obviously, the more court time, the more you are together, the better. There is the advantage of when you come from different clubs, you bring a different style of game with you and different training ethics and different experiences. Strong takes from Jones. She is an incredibly strong player. But ultimately, you need those connections to work. You need them to be working almost telepathically. And like I said, it's the confidence in the pass, the hesitation. It's infectious. It's like confidence is infectious. Confidence breeds confidence. Hesitation, that doubt, breeds more doubt. So the more familiar you are with your teammates, the more confidence you have, the better the unit operates as a whole.
This brings us now to a level game. It's definitely getting exciting here.
Interesting there, the mismatch. Netball Northern Ireland are looking for the mismatch, looking to draw Jones onto Bowman, the shooter, looking to move Morgan away because of that mismatch in height. That is something that Morgan just got caught onto the 3-foot guard with the outside feeder. She does need to be disciplined to stay back on her shooter. Bit of confusion there between the umpire and the players.
On Twitter, Natalia is very impressed now by the Welsh shooters. She says, great vision being shown. Looking forward to watching Wales versus England on Sunday.
And that ties it up. All square, 23-23. That greater shooting percentage and presenting to the ball. Nice play there from Netball Northern Ireland's goal attack, just rotating. Both defenders had the shooters pinned away from the ball, and she just worked her way off the court to present for a nice easy ball to the front. Good creativity from the goal attack. Bowman there.
Oh, someone fiddle with the post.
Under the post are there. Every shooter will tell you the ones closest to the post are the worst. My little cameos as a goal shooter, I can concur. Well, I think most of my shots are, I have an excuse for them when they miss.
I'm sure that's not true.
Every defender is a frustrated shooter. Nice shot from Rowe. A better take from her, but again, better presenting to the ball. It's so much cleaner. It's good to see that she's been able to adjust her game and rectify those little things that needed rectifying in the first quarter. Oh, that's frustrating. That's not quite criminal, but very frustrating when you're presented the ball like that and it's not utilised. These are the small things that at the end of the 60 minutes, it's not the last 2 minutes that's won or lost you the game. It's not taking advantage of those opportunities earlier on that come back to haunt you.
It seems like a catalogue of errors starting to creep in now as we get towards half-time.
It is, certainly from both sides, but I think Wales are actually taking more control of this game, and Netball Northern Ireland, their frustration is starting to show, and you can see that in the errors. Oh, good choice of pass from Dyke. Great experience there. Most people would have thrown the high ball. It would have given the defender an opportunity, but she played it low under tall defender's feet, and another turnover from her.
There's bodies on the line for this game.
As there should be.
Bethan Dyke is certainly a very quick player.
It's her balance really as well. It's not just her speed. Now that was a perfect example of a really strong take by a goal shooter. Rowe needing to do far more of that. And it's that confidence that we talk about. You know, shooters, it is a very, very difficult position to play. And look, she's playing out, taking ball strongly. Looking like a different player out there at the moment, and it's great to see. Well, it is if you're Welsh anyway.
Last dying seconds of this quarter.
And Netball want to hold on to this ball. Oh, frustrated. They really should have held on to that ball, so it would have been their centre pass at the start of the third quarter. But
so at half-time, Wales have now taken the lead. Going into the third, they'll be leading 26-24 by 2 goals.
Yeah.
So, Billy, what do you think was the big turnaround then for Wales to pull that back?
Well, I think really what we said about their attacking lineup presenting to the ball better, their attack seemed to function better. They still had the control, but their shooters were more intelligent with their play. They weren't just running, they were very specific about their movement, timed their movement, and moved according to where their feeders were rather than just rotating out. And both rotating, sometimes they were both presenting to the ball or both rotating away, so there was a better connection between Lewis and Rowe there. The defence turned over more ball. Every ball that you get really should turn to a shot, and they've won that quarter by 6 goals, and effectively that's 3 turnovers, which isn't a huge amount in 15 minutes, but it's very important in the outcome of the game. But also I think Netball Northern Ireland, they've got a bit flustered, they've lost their structure a little bit. They're still shooting very, very well. And the attacking lineup is functioning very well indeed. But they've just had a few errant passes. In their mid-court, I think, are not controlling the game as well as they were in the first quarter. And it's very easy 3 mistakes to be a 6-goal turnaround. It easily happens. They're certainly not out of it. I'm sure they will readjust and reassess, and they'll come out in the third quarter wanting to peg back, because both sides are making mistakes. On balance, the first quarter, Netball Northern Ireland were making less mistakes on balance. On balance now in the second quarter, it was Wales making slightly less errors. So, it'll be anyone's game, really. It really is about who takes control, who minimises their errors, and who looks more confident on the ball. So who is taking the ball stronger. It does have an impact on the umpires as well. The person who looks like they're taking it cleaner will be the player that gets the call ultimately.
Yeah, of course. And we've got a big year coming up. We've got Commonwealth Games obviously coming up next year, and then the World Cup after that. How important is it for teams now to be gelling in preparation for those? How important is this competition in the lead up to those big events?
Yeah, it is important, but I think both coaches will probably still be weighing their options up. I would imagine they've got their eye on a number of players. I would doubt very much that they are settled in who they want. They'll probably have a core, maybe 5 or 6 players, that perhaps more, that they will be looking to take. But now is the time to give other players the opportunity to shine and the opportunities to perform, and then they can base their decisions on selection. They've got, rather than just a trial one weekend, they've got historical evidence of how they've played, and the video analysis work, etc., with which be able to make informed decisions over a longer period of time, and building confidence, and also building experience. You don't want to be going to a World Cup with a team full of novice players. That really is not a great preparation. So I'm sure, like I said, they'll have their players in their mind. Obviously, this is the opportunity for the players to show their worth. They will have their eye on the Commonwealth Games, and indeed it's 1 year after to the World Championships. They will be looking at the end of the World Championships as a cycle rather than the end of the Commonwealth Games. So they'll be looking at their fitness, they'll be looking at other players in the team. How do they connect well with those players? And it's not just about being a star player, it's how the whole unit functions as a whole. So it's a very productive time right now for coaches and athletes.
And you've been through the system, obviously, having represented and captained Wales yourself. What's the work rate that needs to be put in as a youngster, and how important is it as a youngster when you come to these events, when you get that opportunity to get on court to really show your best?
I mean, it's all consuming. There's no other way to describe it, and it's probably something that I was the youngest of 6. I had elder siblings. My entire life was dragged around some netball court, football pitch or rugby pitch somewhere, so I knew no different. Now, since I've retired, I've realised there is a life outside of netball, but I miss it desperately. You have to make the sacrifices. Your training has to come first, and it's the training that you do, it's those extra little sessions that you do. Every player, every international player in the world will be training as hard as they can. It's the extras that you do. What are you doing extra to put you ahead of that person now? Not on the court in the match in the World Cup. What are you doing now in your training time that is going to give you the edge against those players? And I miss it. I miss that competitiveness. I miss the competitiveness with myself. Whatever session I did, weights, sprints, whatever, I always did one more. I always wanted to know if I could do one more. I was a horrendously competitive person.
Oh, I can't believe that.
Monopoly in our house is no mean feat, honestly, I tell you.
So for all those youngsters listening back home, that is your words of wisdom from Billy. It's just compete, compete, compete. with yourself and work really hard.
Yeah, and I get very frustrated. I've got 2 small children, God bless them. They must be the mother from hell, really. But I don't see a problem with competition. I think we shy away from it a lot, but actually it's stepping forward to that competitive stage is character building in many more ways than just a sporting environment. And also learning how to lose with dignity. Not that I ever did like losing, but you do learn to grit your teeth and bear it and have a dignity, and also have a reflective side that, if you've lost, what should you have done better? It's a very important learning tool. There's often far more learnings come out of losses than they do out of wins. And for me, I didn't make some selections and took them badly and reflected and it really is that they're the things that make you stronger. The losses and the setbacks actually ultimately make you a stronger person and a stronger player. So for me, I am very grateful for those perhaps negative experience. I definitely didn't see that at the time, but that is the difference between making a success or just throwing in the towel, and you make your choices.
Looking at the shooting stats just coming through from that quarter, so like you were saying, it being about attempts, the Welsh shooting stats were 15 scored from 18. Georgia Rowe was sat on 6 from 6 on there. Chelsea Lewis sat on 9 from 12, so that's 100% and 75%. Northern Ireland 9 from 11, so less attempts but high shooting stats. And with Bowman sat on 8 from 9 and Bowman.
Both Bowmans.
That's just completely thrown me.
And
sat on 1 from 2.
In the first quarter, Netball Northern Ireland had 17 attempts and converted 15 of them. Second quarter, it's still a high conversion, 9 from 11, but the ball just not getting to them as fluently. So, really a tale of 2 quarters in terms of the ball got to the shooting end for Northern Ireland much easier than it did the second quarter, and vice versa. In the first quarter, Wales couldn't get it through to the goal, and then they did the second quarter. And with 18 attempts as opposed to 15 in their first quarter, that's significantly better for them and better shooting stats. And 9 from 12, putting up 12 shots for goal attack. It's not ideal when your goal attack is putting up more shots than your goal shooter, but to have 100% shooting stats from your goal shooter is obviously very preferable.
We're just seeing the players coming back onto court now, coming back into their huddles after their words of wisdom from their coaches in half-time. Both taken to the court, and if there's any changes, we will hope to bring them to you very shortly.
There certainly looks to be a change, not confirmation of the names yet, but Michelle Drain, the wing attack for Netball Northern Ireland, has gone off. And centre Kyra Jones for Wales has been replaced with Amanda Very.
Amanda Very is a well-experienced player as well, played for Team Bath, but has changed this year, I believe.
She has signed with Celtic Dragons this year. That'll be very exciting for her.
A lot of the Welsh players coming back to Celtic Dragons this year and their new signings. They've signed Nia Jones as well, as you were saying, back from football.
Yeah, and exciting to see also Carolee Mosley. She's not on the court at the moment, but it'll be it's very much a benefit and asset to Wales that she has returned to the fold. Very experienced, calm, accurate goal attack. I know because I played against her many times and she frustrated me very much so. Northern Ireland coming out with a lot of intensity here. Oh, great hold again. Just acres of space. But not able to convert. That's good defence testament and well seen from Jones. Her vision into the space, I'm sure football has been an asset to her. Lewis needed to drive front there. Went to go front, backed out of it. Just a miscommunication between her and Rowe. She thought Rowe was going, Rowe thought she was going. Anyway, eventually the ball gets to under the post and put away for a shot. Good challenge from Dyke there. Power of work Netball Northern Ireland centre Caroline O'Hanlon is doing here. Lovely layoff 1-2s. Putting herself into as optimum a position to feed the shooters as she can.
O'Hanlon having played for Scottish Sirens this Super League season, so when she faces Scotland, no doubt she'll face a lot of her old teammates.
3 seconds to judge there. Frustrating now. Another one of those errors. There's only 2 goals in it. This game is going to be fairly close the whole way through, which is great as a spectator.
Not great as a coach on the bench.
Not great as a coach.
How much as a player do you realise how close it is? Are you constantly aware of the score?
Yes. The worst thing you could do is watch the scoreboard because it creates anxiety. But you can certainly feel the ebbs and flow of the intensity, anxiety. And really it's about which players take control during those moments. I mean, as you can see now, the indecision there of who was going, the time it took to clarify with the umpire, all those things. Good work from Drain there. And a confident ball from Very. That was literally threading that feed through the eye of a needle. Bit of a risky feed there. 2 defenders on 1, perhaps not the best option. But testament to Netball Northern Ireland's defenders. Turned that ball over, and we saw the quick transition through there. Nice circling around. If you just saw off the ball the wing attack, she came from behind Susie Dray in the wing defence and literally just ran round in front to the top of the circle. Clean feed through to the goal attack, but quite an easy shot there, missed by Netball Northern Ireland goal attack. She will be frustrated with herself with that, I'm sure.
Just to clarify substitutions, on at wing attack for Northern Ireland is Woods. And as pointed out before by Billy, it's Amanda Very who has come on to centre for Wales.
So that's Niamh Woods there. Interesting that Michelle Drain went off. I thought she was doing quite a good job on that wing attack position, and even more interesting that Tona has actually stayed at wing defence, but arguably she was doing a good job as well. And we were talking earlier about now's the time to try those different combinations. Maybe Netball Northern Ireland are, that's exactly what they are doing, and so far Woods has done a really nice job. Costly miss there.
It's still such a close game as well. I guess if you keep the same results, it's still a close game. Maybe they're trying to mix it up to try and push out in front.
Certainly, sometimes fortune does favour the brave, and you have to put these players in these positions to see what they can bring. Testament to the coach. Elaine Rice for doing that. Again, another lady who I fondly remember playing against. She was a very smart attacking player in her day. I'm sure she will have had an influence on this attacking lineup here. And strong take again from O'Hanlon. You can see how her experience at Super League is paying dividends here. She is the one controlling that mid-court at the moment for Netball Northern Ireland.
Lisa Bowman seems to have just taken a knock to the eye. No wonder she's passed the ball off.
Oh, another miss there from Bowman. That'll be 2 on the row for her. She didn't look balanced when she took the shot, and she has so far been dominantly feeding rather than shooting. And Wales certainly seem to be countering that by double marking on the goal shooter to try and force the pressure, but ultimately the ball drops and it's 28 goals apiece.
It's a double jump there from the defence.
Good shot from Rowe. Time being called. Interesting substitution here.
Sarah Llewellyn on at goal attack. She's played the World Youth Cup this year.
And Lewis on to goal shooter. I always find it interesting that's almost halfway through the first quarter that the substitution comes. There was obviously a premeditated substitution there. Wanting to give the attacking lineup another opportunity, and obviously felt the need for that change. And again, opportunity for Sarah Llewellyn, a very exciting under 21 player, to see what she can bring to this Wales lineup. Lovely outside arm there. Beautiful interception from Netball Northern Ireland's goalkeeper. O'Hanlon storming through the centre of the court, and Bowman with the big step in to make sure and keep ahead by 1 goal at Northern Ireland.
That's a good tactic, that long step, if there's no defence in front of you and you can sink it off 1 foot. It gets you very close to the post.
It certainly is, as long as it goes in.
All those people that were going training tonight, there you go, that's your aim.
There's a bit of a change in netball at the moment for some of our viewers who perhaps watched the Australian Suncorp Super Netball. There's a couple of players that play there. Gretel Tippett, for example, from Firebirds, a goal attack. She is definitely a basketballer, will often take that big leap in. And Romelda Aitken is known for her one-handed layups as well, and it adds value to the game. Brings something different, something we don't normally see. Empire just having a word there with Northern Ireland's defence, I think, for persistent breaking, I believe. Lovely ball through from Dyke.
That's one thing that Llewellyn does really well, is runs that circle and she draws defence off. They get drawn to her because she's very quick.
She is an incredibly quick player, and as a defender, when you're against someone who moves around a lot, it prevents you being able to set up your defensive structure, because you're always having to keep an eye on them, and when they keep moving, it's just a little bit annoying.
Do you think it's a clever tactic to have changed in the middle, because it's a different style of attack to what was happening before?
I think it is. I think when you change 2 attackers, it can be risky. Lovely arm. Ball wasn't really on there, not presented far enough into space. It was nice. If you just watch those 2 defenders, they were both off marking, and Lewis just stood right in the middle of them. The problem being what Lewis needed to do was actually go and post up on one of them to make the feed more obvious. But all testament to Netball Northern Ireland's defenders. That was a lovely take, well constructed defensive setup from them, and rewarded with a goal. And all of a sudden, Netball Northern Ireland are out by 3 goals. Again, that matchup, that mismatch. Jones just getting caught behind. Not able to defend from that position. We talk about in defence a DADA, a DADA, defence being in front of an attacker and defence being in front of the second attacker. And in that case, it was the attackers who were both in front position. It's something that I'm sure they will look to address.
Can see more Welsh players out warming up. Be interesting to see if there's some more changes, considering the scoreline starting to push out a bit in favour of Northern Ireland. Nice
little tip there from Nolan, just getting her hands in the way, interrupting the path of the ball from Vary to Lewis. And another substitution. Vary off. And Kyra Jones retaking the court.
Vary does have ice on her hand, so it looks like that might not be tactical. Let's hope she recovers quickly.
I think, like we said as well, sometimes when you change 2 people in the attacking end, and 2 people that haven't particularly had an awful lot of court time together, it can be unsettling. Jones just getting persistently called here. She's going to have to watch that contact. Just her arms slightly off the ball. And Bowman will be feeling happier with herself with that shot at goal, just settling the nerves a little bit.
I just sense this is crucial now for Wales. Northern Ireland have pushed out by 6.
It is, and that's a huge turnover.
Footwork call there for Chelsea.
That's another mistake, another turnover. Then who is going to take control? Llewellyn and Beth and Dyke just getting caught on the same line there. Both presenting to the same channel of the court. Oh, nice hand from O'Hanlon. A little bit too close that time. And contact called against Lewis, backing in. Things not going Wales' way right now.
Still lots left in this netball game yet. It's just swinging from one side to the other at the moment.
Yeah, that's 8 goals that Netball Northern Ireland have pulled back in order to lead by 6. Lazy shot from Lewis there. Fell way short.
And this is what you were talking about early on about confidence, and when the confidence has dropped in one player, it just seems to be a bit contagious.
And again, just Netball Northern Ireland slicing through the middle of the court there. Just coming through with ease to feed their shooter, but a handy turnover. Allen just looking a little bit hesitant there. She hasn't really seen much of the ball to be able to gain confidence. We talk about giving our players the ball in order to evoke confidence in them.
Coming through on Twitter, Josh Anderson says, brilliant second quarter from Wales, really upped the intensity. GCS Netball Academy, brilliant play from Wales against Northern Ireland, keep it up. And then Meave Kilpatrick, Nolene is playing a blinder in defence. She's a Nolene fan.
I'm a bit of a Nolene fan too. Considering that she plays goal shoot, goal keep and goal defence, I think I might have even seen her run out of the centre at some stage.
That's definitely multi-talented.
That is.
That's just showing off.
Another goal there. Just keeping Wales at bay there, Bowman is. Frustrating for the defenders. See now with the defender out what Wales can do, what can they create. Just again not taking advantage there. Really, when you've got one defender against 2 shooters, you should be doing better than that. But ultimately, sweet shot from Lewis. That's more like it.
That was a very lovely shot. And we saw Lewis on form in the Fast Fives earlier this year in September, doing some great shooting.
She certainly was. Some marvellous 3 and 5 pointers in that tournament. Really exciting format to that game. It was very enjoyable. Akin to the rugby sevens instead of the full rugby game. Much faster, much shorter. Points system. Oh, lovely ball from Bowman. Just miscommunication there. Really, again, the defender, Morgan, got caught behind her. Shooter needs to present in front or should have called Jones back onto her. Llewellyn just playing the far side. Not quite driving through with the intensity and the conviction that is maybe needed. Just a little bit of clarity required there for placement of the ball.
Again, just towards the end of the quarter, just seems to be more errors creeping in. Is that from tiredness, do you think?
I think tiredness, I think it's frustration as well. You know, no one really taking control here. Nice play. Nice play from Nolan. Beautiful getting round. We talk about Morgan needing to get round. You know, Nolan went quite far away in order to get that front position and just disturb the feed. But good control from Wales's outside feeders to get the ball to Lewis and ultimately a shot.
They really need to stop this last goal from going in now.
13 seconds. Just slightly errant play there from Wales. Deliberately wanting to run this clock down. Again, clarity needed. Frustrating, I'm sure, for all players concerned. Shot going up in the last few seconds.
So, moving into the last quarter-time break. Northern Ireland now lead 38-33. And Billy, this is such an exciting game for spectators. It's bouncing back and forth. One leads, the other leads. Who's going to take control of it?
It is, and it's a little frustrating in terms of it doesn't seem like anybody wants to right now. You know, some key changes there. That certainly, you know, as a coach, you have to make the changes to see what people are going to do, and fair play to Wilcox, she did that. Some of them worked better than others, but exciting to see those changes. I felt Netball Northern Ireland's change for the wing attack, I thought that was very productive change. The ball was delivered nicely to the circle. It was a bit of uncertainty from their mid-court, but their defence end is functioning very well at the moment, turning over a huge amount of ball, which they are. Shooters are rewarding. Bowman, at goal shoot again, has found his space and slot away some lovely goals. Frustrating, I'm sure, for the goal attack not to put that goal away, to put an extra point ahead for Netball Northern Ireland, but currently they are sitting 5 goals in the lead. but as we've seen, that goal difference, it's both teams have been able to attack each other very convincingly, and it's still up in the air going into this last quarter.
And you've alluded to the defence at the moment for Wales getting stuck behind quite often. Do you think it's time for a change in there? Do you think we'll see a change to try and counteract that, with Bowman in there being so strong on her holds?
Yeah, it is. I do think possible, and I think maybe perhaps we're not giving Bowman the credit there, because she is holding that position. She is preventing them working in front. She has got quite a strong base that it does mean the defenders have to go further round, and the goal attack is doing a good job by keeping the goal defence out, keeping her busy, so it's left as a one-on-one situation with the keeper and the shooter in the goal circle, which creates the space for the shooter to be able to do more. If the goalkeeper comes in front, she's got the back space. If the goalkeeper stays behind, she's got the front space. When you've got a goal attack keeping their defence out, that's a really smart play when you've got such a strong holding shooter like Bowman is at the moment. Couple that with feeders who drive to the circle edge and deliver quality ball, it's a very efficient attacking lineup. And we've seen in the second quarter when Netball Northern Ireland went down, it wasn't necessarily to do with their attack not functioning, it was in the mid-court where they were just losing possession of the ball. So it certainly is something that Wales will need to address. I think we might be looking at personnel change at the back there, and really it's applying the pressure. It's doing something different as a defensive unit. If you do the same thing and they're still getting advantage of you, sometimes you have to be a little bit braver, either go out hunting for ball more out of the circle to disrupt the feeds that are coming to the circle edge. If those feeders are hitting circle edge, what are we doing about that? Are we keeping the feeders off, or are we promoting those feeds to the circle edge so that the goal defenders can play out onto it and turn over ball? It's far more complicated than just one thing to fix, and it really comes down to a whole team game plan. What is their structure? What has Trish Wilcox asked them to do, and are they sticking to it, more importantly?
And for Elaine Rice, up by 5, in control of the game at the moment, what would your key piece of advice be to these players now going on to keep that?
I think for Netball Northern Ireland, they're functioning well. They just need to keep doing what they're doing. I think Nolene Lennon is coming into the game more and more. She's turning over more and more ball and getting more involved. And I think she has been instrumental, really, in Netball Northern Ireland's comeback in that last quarter. But certainly for them, they just need to keep playing their own game.
Okay, we are back out for the last quarter. A huge welcome to all our viewers out there. If you want to get in touch with us, please do tell us what you think of the game so far. It's hashtag NEOpen on Twitter. We would love to hear your comments. There have been some changes. As soon as we get confirmation of those, we will bring them to you.
It does look to be, it seems to be Netball Northern Ireland have changed their... No, they've said they look like they've remained the same, actually. Apologies. But certainly Wales have changed. Lewis has left the court and Georgia Rowe has returned as goal attack, and we have a new goalkeeper, Christina Shaw, for Wales.
Christina Shaw played part of the under-21 Bath setup this season and was in the long squad for the Welsh under-21s as well. So another youngster coming through.
Oh, what a take there. Oh, and lucky from the wing defence. Lovely backing up from her, but just unable to keep control of her feet, and possibly should have stood out of play there and not tipped that ball. Can play the ball, just that confidence again, just give the ball to the shooter first time. Interesting to see there, Rowe. I'm not sure she would willingly stand with her arm behind her back like that.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
I'm sure the viewers will make their own opinion from that. Oh, a good intensity from Shaw. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Just making herself known out there. Just putting doubt into Netball Northern Ireland feeder's mind. I'm here and I am a force to be reckoned with. Just Jones again. Unsure. It's a very difficult position when you are left in that shooting circle. One defender with two shooters there. Getting caught behind, and a clean shot from Bowman, keeping it 5 goals in the lead for Netball Northern Ireland. Commanding position here from them. Oh, great vision. Beautiful vision from Sarah Llewellyn. Needs to be finished off with the shot, as it is by Georgia Rowe. If you watched off the ball then as well, if you watched Bethan Dyke's work in front of the goal circle, going one way to cut back and pull 2 defenders. She had 2 defenders interested in her there, which is what drew the goalkeeper out and created that opportunity to play to Georgia Rowe.
It's getting nice and loud here at Sports Wales. The Welsh support is out in force.
Strong take is getting physical out there now. This is when I enjoy it.
You want to be on the court, really, don't you?
Oh, I would love to. With all my heart. But without my non-functioning knees. Good backup there from Jones. You can feel the intensity. And you were saying about, do you watch the scoreboard? You don't have to see now that Wales are on a run. You can feel it. You can feel the intensity lift. You can feel the anxiety lift from Netball Northern Ireland, but they are still in a commanding position. They are still 3 goals up. And a frustrating there. Opportunity missed. They are the things that are really the unforced errors, we call them, in netball, that you just, as a elite team, you want to be minimising them, if having them at all at this level.
It's great this season that netball's going live out to so many people. Even Carwyn Jones, the First Minister for Wales, has sent a letter to the Welsh netball squad ahead of this tournament, wishing them good luck. So we've even got the government involved.
Give him a netball dress. Get him playing. Got any daughters, Carwyn? Oh, Llewellyn not quite anticipating that ball. And this is where she's doing... We talk about the goal attacks, rotating a circle, her movement, as well as being available to the ball, but her movement drawing those defenders, and a strong take from Rowe. Really great to see Llewellyn telling Georgia Rowe what to do there. You know, come on, get on this goal defence, prevent her getting over the line, let's apply extra pressure. Shooters can defend too.
And that's another important lesson for the youngsters, isn't it? That actually everybody's voice is valuable on the netball court, and when you're on there, you have to step up and you have to communicate, even if they're bigger and scarier than you.
You certainly do. I mean, there's an argument to say it must be constructive communication, but certainly everyone has something to give. Just hesitation on that feed there. Would have liked to have seen that played to the pocket to Dyke. At the moment, Wales just one option there. Again, that hold from Bowman, making herself very available to her feeders and finished off with a very clean shot. Good support from Drain. Just a bit of composure needed here now.
It was almost a shot.
Yeah, she didn't have anything else on, in all honesty. Why not? Why not try and shoot from there? And again, Netball Northern... I was just about to say, beautiful play from Netball Northern Ireland. Very clean and slick through, and then just a bit of a lazy pass at the end.
It almost does seem to have upped in intensity in this quarter, and pressure.
And the intensity is great, but it's the control that's still needed.
How do you get that into your players?
I think it's just awareness, you know, and for me it's them demanding the ball. So often, 3-second call, and that was testament. Nolene Lennon's defence, she was all over that shot. Llewellyn held out for the 3-second call, the obstruction rather, but it didn't come. Llewellyn had good distance, and ultimately it was a 3-second call. Yeah, I think in terms of the control, it's demanding the ball, demanding more of yourself and more of your players around you, and putting them in a good position, not giving them a hope and a prayer pass. You know, a tidy pass, clean skills. If you've gone for one ball and you're not used, your job isn't done, you go again. Prime example.
Just seems to be a bit more static, isn't it? Like you say, the intensity's there, but everybody's going and then no one's going.
Yeah, and Netball Northern Ireland, you know, they're doing a fine man-on-man job on Wales at the moment. They are earning those turnovers. Good cover there from Wales. Some good pressure themselves. Contact from Llewellyn, but on that third line, and again, Bowman just so available. Interesting this second half of the game that the goal attack Bowman has offered more in terms of playing over the line more often. Certainly the first half, Michelle Drain was the predominant receiver of the centre pass. Goal attack and wing attack now for Netball Northern Ireland sharing it, and as a result splitting Wales's defence.
Oh, I don't think she can knock it out of hand.
Perhaps a fortunate call there, but I'm sure Wales will take it. They'll need to if they want to make a dent on this 5-goal deficit with 7 minutes to play.
Is it doable?
Yeah, of course it is. Llewellyn, oh, nice shot there. Great to see her. We talk about wanting the ball. You know, she got called for a 3-second hold on her last shot, but she demanded the ball there. She presented to it. She wanted it. She's working on defence. She's doing a good job on Nolene Lennon. Unfortunate contact against her. But she is doing a good defensive, working good defensive pressure on her, as is Bethan Dyke. Sometimes I find that off the ball interactions far more interesting than what's going on the play. Good lean from Rowe there, nice rebound, unfortunately not quite collected. Shaw having a good game. Come on, definitely brought something different. Huge step in there from Bowman, and it's just the discipline of, you can mark that pass when she stepped in closer than 3 feet, but you cannot contact. Pressure, great pressure there, and that's the control that we're talking about. Bethan Dyke there, both defenders were out of play. She could have flung it into her shooter, but it was a 50-50 ball, and she opted just to hold on, calm the play, and deliver a sensible pass through to her shooters. Great experience and control there. Oh, lovely pass from Bowman. Goal attack there for Netball Northern Ireland, just altering her delivery where she's playing the ball from, away from the defender's arms. Nice tip there from Netball Northern Ireland wing defence, and a strong take from Rowe. That's been her first shot at goal for a while. She'll be pleased with that. Again, building that confidence, and it's 4 goals. Wales chipping away at this lead, and another opportunity here. Offside adjudged.
She's got to make the most of this opportunity now.
Good strength from, she ends up on the floor, but she put her body on the line to take that ball, protect the ball with her body, took a hit, but ultimately got the ball. Nice play from Rowe. Much more definite movement from her, presenting to the ball, and finished off with a clean shot. Much better from her. Be good to see some more consistency in that play from her. She's very capable.
And as a player, how would the pressure be feeling now?
Pretty intense. And it's the players who want to stand up, the players who want the ball now. Certainly as a coach, that's what Trish Wilcox will be looking for.
Just has to recompose herself. I think she took a bit of a battering on that one.
Smart play again from Rowe, just getting herself in between Nolene Lennon, the defender, and Llewellyn. Bit of a hit to the face, but don't worry, Georgia, you'll live.
We have a 2-goal game
with 4 minutes to play.
They got very exciting here in Sport Wales. The crowd
nice
just
tip.
getting louder.
Oh, great collect. 50-50 play, contested ball. Susie Drain, and that's a captain's performance there when it counts. And just that control that we're talking about needs to be in defence as well, in discipline from Lennon. She had a wonderful game, but just hitting that ball when she should have kept her lean. She got a great lean. Good rebound though. Wales able to turn it over, and Rowe making sure second time. 1 goal in it, and Wales is sent to pass.
Change.
Substitution here from from Netball Northern Ireland. Wing attack taking the court.
Seems to be a hand injury. She's holding a hand, get some ice on it. Hopefully she's okay. Oh, great interception by a goalkeeper. That could prove vital.
Good cover there from Jones. She had her eye on it, but couldn't quite get the correct attacking line. Good confidence from Shaw, making a play out. And again, that pass, just recognising that the goal attack is wanting to feed the goal shooter. Sensible. Good play from Netball Northern Ireland. Goal attack there. Good control. Jones just wanting them to get the ball in play so that she can try and turn it over. Oh, when it counts.
That's the ones that count, isn't it? That's the defender that you want, the one that comes out in those crucial moments, takes the ball.
And all game she's been up against far taller shooters than her, but ultimately you can always find a way to turn over that ball. Nice feed, confident feed through, and delicately poised on that back line there, Georgia Rose. Tiptoeing on that baseline, trying to stay in the court. And back to one goal.
One in it. Now we need to know what happens if it's a draw.
That's a very good question. There's contact there. There's only 2 minutes. Wales will be wanting to win this, not necessarily draw it. Good positioning from
this is a difficult shot,
Llewellyn. And there we go, standing up. Young player, great confidence there from Sarah Llewellyn.
The Welsh fans are now making the ground shake.
Pressure everywhere now needed, and there it is. Oh, great play there. Well played, Netball Northern Ireland goal attack. And well played, Nia Jones.
Bowman's hardly missed.
Just not playing onto the ball there. Kyra Jones waiting for the ball. Bit of a criminal error there, waiting for the ball to come to you instead of taking your feet.
Great by the Welsh wing defence though.
Great crucial shot there, putting Netball Northern Ireland ahead. 50 seconds to play, 1 goal in it. Netball Northern Ireland were doing everything they can here now. Ooh, bit scrappy. Time being halted as well to make sure there's no warning there for the wing defence. Just play the game. Netball Northern Ireland certainly playing every trick in the book here now. 30 seconds. Where's the control? Where's the control?
This is the point in time where, being a shooter, you have to have nerves of steel.
25 seconds in. It's Sarah Llewellyn. Look, the young players stepping up. Good position from Rowe. Made herself very available. 17 seconds. Umpire just making sure the defender is set exactly where she should be. And a miss!
6 seconds left.
Huge miss. Under the post, they're the ones we say are the worst.
Northern Ireland just keep possession.
And Netball Northern Ireland win.
Well ground out by Northern Ireland, and you can see from their faces just what it means to them. What a fantastic game of netball.
47 plays 46, and you have to give Netball Northern Ireland huge credit there, defending all the way to the last.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed that at home as much as we enjoyed it in the commentary box. What a fantastic game of netball. Many thanks to Billy and all the other partners. Thank you to you at home for watching, and for all of those of you who contacted us on Twitter. Keep the conversation going using the hashtag #AnyOpen. There's lots more on over the next 3 days, so make sure you tune back in. We will be back tomorrow with more live coverage. Looking at the team celebrate there. So tomorrow's games for you, we have at 12 o'clock England versus Scotland. At 6 o'clock we have Fiji versus Wales. And then at 8 o'clock in the evening we have England back on again against Northern Ireland. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.